a spoon that cuts wood, a candle that heals wounds, a ring that fixes torn gear. Not tools, systems. Medieval survivors didn't carry 10 items. They carried one that did 10 things. Modern gear fails when it matters most. These ancient tools don't. No plastic, no batteries, no instruction manual, just design born from hunger, war, and cold. Today, you'll rediscover 7 survival tools, each one tested by centuries. Each one smarter than your gear. Get ready to rethink everything you carry, because survival isn't about what you pack. It's about what you know. No zippers, no touchscreens, no backup plan. Medieval travelers crossed mountains, rivers, and war zones with nothing but what fit in a belt pouch. But they didn't bring tools. They brought systems. Every item was chosen, not for comfort, but survival. A spoon wasn't just a spoon. A candle wasn't just a light. A necklace could be the difference between fire or freezing. In a world without help, redundancy was survival. Every item did more than one job, because they couldn't afford failure. No second chance, no resupply, no rescue, just the tools you carry and the knowledge to use them. Technique 1. Portable sundial. Imagine a tool that never needed batteries, one that told time, direction, and even season using only the sun. Medieval travelers carried it in a leather pouch. No moving parts, no fragile glass, just carved brass and etched tables. They adjusted it by month, by latitude, by memory. When the sky was clear, it worked perfectly, even after storms, even soaked in rain. It dried and kept going. No wires, no circuitry, just light angles and design. Modern watches fail after a week in the wild. This kept working for decades. It was more than a clock. It was a compass, a calendar, and sometimes the only way to survive. Because when you lose track of time, you lose your grip on everything else. The portable sundial gave that grip back, in silence, in sunlight, and in the palm of your hand. Technique 2. Tallow candle. It looked like a simple candle, but in the hands of a medieval traveler, it became a survival kit, made from purified animal fat. It burned for hours in cold winds and heavy rain, but it also fed you a dense source of calories when food ran out. And the herbs inside weren't for smell. They fought infection, cleared lungs, stopped bleeding. When burned, they released medicinal smoke. When scraped, they became healing salve. In the dark, it gave light. In sickness, it gave medicine. And in hunger, it gave energy. Modern gear splits those into 5 tools. They did it with one, compact, organic, always ready. Even the wick was special, woven to burn slowly with little smoke. When everything else failed, this still worked, because real survival isn't about carrying more, it's about carrying smarter. Technique 3. Carved spoon. It fed you, but it also measured, scraped, stirred, and stored. The carved wooden spoon was more than a utensil. It was a survival system in disguise. Crafted from strong hardwoods like birch or maple, it was shaped for both strength and precision. Notches along the handle marked measurements. The back edge could cut soft roots or carve tinder. Some versions hid storage holes for fish hooks, thread, or even dry herbs. Its bowl could hold medicine. Its handle could become a drill. And in skilled hands, it turned into a fire-starting spindle. Lightweight, silent, innocent, but incredibly functional. Modern survivalists carry a dozen tools. Medieval travelers carved one and mastered it. Because the best tools don't draw attention, they just work exactly when you need them most. Technique 4. Fire steel amulet. It looked like jewelry, but in the wilderness, it meant fire. Worn around the neck, this iron pendant doubled as a striker. Paired with a shard of flint, it threw sparks hot enough to light damp tinder. Medieval smiths forged it with curved edges, perfect for knuckle grip and repeated strikes. The curve wasn't decorative. It was optimized, easy to reach, hard to lose. Some wore it under their clothes. Others disguised it as a religious charm. But in a storm, it was the difference between warmth and hypothermia. Modern lighters break. Plastic melts. Fuel runs out. This just keeps sparking. Rain or wind, cold or heat. One steel ring, one piece of stone, And the oldest magic we still remember, fire from nothing. Technique 5. Ink stick message rod. It looked like a brush handle, but hidden inside was ink paper and escape. This hollow rod carried by monks and messengers held more than tools. It carried plans, maps, warnings. The shaft sealed with wax or bone caps protected scrolls from water fire or interception. Some included powdered ink, a cloth nib, even a charcoal stub. Everything needed to write anywhere, even in hiding. When danger came, it could be tossed, burned, or buried. But when it reached the right hands, it changed everything. Modern people rely on signals, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS. But in the dark, under siege, you need something that speaks without electricity. This rod did, quietly, efficiently. And sometimes it saved entire villages. Technique 6. Senue repair ring. It looked like a simple ring, worn for luck or memory. But inside, coiled sinew, dried tendon tough as wire, light as air, hidden under a carved cap or wax seal. It was invisible, until your gear broke, until your boot tore, until your bag split mid-journey. Then the ring became a lifeline, soaked with water or spit. The sinew softened, then hardened again as it dried, stronger than thread, lighter than rope. Tied tools, sealed wounds, repaired leather cloth wood. Some wore two, one for their gear, one for barter. Modern repairs need kit's glue clamps. This you wore it, and forgot it, until the moment you couldn't live without it. Technique 7. Herbal wax seal comb. It groomed your hair, but it also protected your blood. This wasn't just a comb, it was a pharmacy carved into wood. Inside its teeth, wax, infused with crushed herbs, moss, and oils, mint, lavender, yarrow, blended by monks, midwives, and forest healers. When brushed through hair or beard, the wax coated the skin, repelling lice, ticks, and biting flies. Its scent masked human presence in the wild and eased breathing in damp shelters. During outbreaks, it was disinfectant. During long journeys, a healing kit. Some were hollow storing resin or poultices for wounds. One tool for hygiene, defense, and medicine. Modern sprays run out. This lasted months and worked better the longer it was used, because nature doesn't just feed you, it protects you if you know how to carry it. They didn't carry gear, they carried systems. Every item served 3 purposes, sometimes 5, because when the stakes were life or death, single-use tools weren't good enough. These weren't accessories, they were survival strategies, disguised as spoons, candles, and rings. Each one born from scarcity, refined through hardship, passed down in silence, and now nearly forgotten. But if you remember them, they might remember you. Because survival doesn't come from more gear. It comes from deeper knowledge and the will to use it. Subscribe now, because the next video reveals 7 medieval fire-starting systems that worked in storms, snow, and silence. Systems that don't just ignite fire, they ignite self-reliance.